Hey, this is Mike from YoND Raps, and wanted to do in honor of our upcoming opponent, NC State, this week, little program history from the Notre Dame NC State series. It's a limited series. It's not like Navy. We've only played them 3 times in our history. The first time was January 1st, 2003, the 2003 Gator Bowl. This was a really good NC State team. Philip Rivers was their quarterback. He led the way in that game. Notre Dame was kind of a pretender. If you remember, they started out Tyrone Willingham's first year 8-0, went on the road, beat Florida State, but then came home and just inexplicably imploded against Boston College. I think they later in the season lost to USC as well. But NC State throttled them this game 28-6. Um, they hung 21 points in the second quarter alone on Notre Dame. Notre Dame never recovered from that. It was 21-3 at half. Um, Two people stand out for NC State, obviously. Philip Rivers, he was 23 of 37 for 228 and 2 touchdowns. And then not as impactful on the stat line, but their running back, T.A. McClendon, had 11 carries for 18 yards, which sounds like an awful day. 2 of those 11 carries were touchdowns. Um, NC State was just a better football team all around. The next game, which this is really a forgettable game, it's one of the damning losses in the Brian Kelly era, of which he just continues to add to his legacy at LSU. Um, this is the 2016 game. It was in Carter Finley. This is the famous Hurricane Matthew game. The game probably should not have been played because it literally was played in a hurricane. Despite that, Brian Kelly thought he could outsmart everyone as he normally does, and he just ended up shooting himself in the foot. Deshaun Kaiser went 9 of 26 for 54 yards and an interception in the game. Keep in mind he was in shotgun most of the game, and the weather made it difficult for him to even get a snap in the shotgun. Yet we're going to try and throw it 26 times. NC State did the exact opposite. Their quarterback, Ryan Finley, he only threw 12 passes for 27 yards. Um, and they ran the ball. Their tailback, Matthew Days, 23 carries for 126. It was the difference. It was a 10-3 win. A game that, even though Notre Dame was not a good football team, could have won. Could have easily won had they just chosen a better game plan, a game plan that made sense to anybody other than Brian Kelly. The last game in the series was in 2017. This was in Notre Dame Stadium. Notre Dame kind of returned the favor. Obviously, the weather was much different. Notre Dame won this game 35-14. This was a big day on the ground for Josh Adams. 27 carries, 202 yards, and a touchdown. This was a really good Notre Dame football team. I don't think NC State was quite as good as they were in 2016. They were a little bit better in 16 than they were 17, but Notre Dame was kind of a juggernaut in 17. As far as a Brian Kelly juggernaut, that's how I'll say that. Um, but yeah, he decided to run the football, and good things happened. Here's hoping to a similar result on Saturday. Go Irish.